But once the cow's been milked, there's no squirting the cream back up her udder, so here we are to see things through. What do you say to that, Sansa? Shall we have some lemon cakes?
Lemon cake's my favorite.
So we've been told. Are you going to bring the food, or do you mean to starve us to death? Here, Sansa. Come sit with me. I'm much less boring than these others. It almost feels as if you're about to arrive at the point. Oh, you can smell the shit from 5 miles away. Well, why have we stopped? Go on! Rumors and gossip. That's all they've got. It's a theatre, nothing more. If they arrested all the pillow biters in King's Landing, there'd be no room left in the dungeons for anyone else.
Everyone knew about him and Renly.
Renly Baratheon shagged half the stable boys in the Seven Kingdoms. Everyone knew. No one cared.
He was the king's brother.
And Loras is the Queen's brother. No, 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 no. This is unacceptable.
Cersei's behind it.
Yes, of course she is. She wants to drag our name through the dirt. Put us in our place. Get some rest, dear. You look appalling. And let me deal with Cersei Lannister. Your Grace, I have traveled a long way.
You must be exhausted.
Put the pen down, dear. We both know you're not writing anything.
Ah, yes, the famously tart-tongued Queen of Thorns.
And the famous tart, Queen Cersei.
My lady, I wanted to personally welcome you to King's Landing. The city has been made brighter by your presence.
The city is made brighter by my presence. Is that your usual line, Lord Varys? You here to seduce me?
A little obvious, perhaps.
Oh, no, please. Seduce away. It's been so long. Though I rather think it's all for naught. What happens when the non-existent bumps against the decrepit? Question for the philosophers.
She's terrified, Grandmother. Just look at her.
Speak freely, child. We would never betray your confidence, I swear it.
He's a monster.
Ah. That's a pity. You are a clever man, Lord Varys.
You are too kind. I believe I have a possible solution.
One doesn't need to be clever for that. It's all rather obvious, isn't it?
There are always lessons in failures.
Yes. You must be very wise by now.
My stomach remains quite strong, however. The only thing that might turn it are details of your grandson's nocturnal activities. Do you deny them?
Oh, not at all. A sword swallower through and through.
Well, a boy with his affliction should be grateful for the opportunity to marry the most beautiful woman in the kingdoms and remove the stain from his name.
Did you grow up with boy cousins, Lord Tywin? Sons of your father's bannermen, squires, stable boys?
Of course.
And you never...
No.
Not once? Not in any way?
Never.
I congratulate you upon your restraint. But it's a natural thing, two boys having a go at each other beneath the sheets.
Perhaps Highgarden has a high tolerance for unnatural behavior.
I wouldn't say that. True, we don't tie ourselves in knots over a discreet bit of buggery, but... brothers and sisters... Where I come from, that stain would be very difficult to wash out. There's nothing more tedious than a trial. Except perhaps these gardens. If I have to take one more leisurely stroll through these gardens, I'll fling myself from the cliffs. That was Joffrey's sword, wasn't it? Not that he ever used it. What did he call it?
Widow's wail.
He really was a cunt, wasn't he? So, the evening before Luther was to propose to my sister, I got lost on my way back from my embroidery lesson and happened upon his chamber. How absent-minded of me. Mm-hmm. The following morning, Luther never made it down the stairs to propose to my sister because the boy couldn't bloody walk. And once he could, the only thing he wanted was what I'd given him the night before. I was good. I was very, very good. You are even better. Peace. Do you think that's what we had under your father? Or his father? Or his? Peace never lasts, my dear. Will you take a bit of advice from an old woman? He's a clever man, your hand. I've known a great many clever men. I've outlived them all. You know why? I ignored them. The lords of Westeros are sheep. Are you a sheep? No. You're a dragon. Be a dragon.
We need each other.
I wonder if you're the worst person I've ever met. At a certain age, it's hard to recall. But the truly vile do stand out through the years. Do you remember the way you smirked at me when my grandson and granddaughter were dragged off to their cells? I do. I'll never forget it. She's a disease. I regret my role in spreading it. You will too. You're surrounded by enemies, thousands of them. You're going to kill them all by yourself? You've lost Cersei. It's the only joy I can find in all this misery. Tell Cersei I wanted to know it was me.